This new Alistar build is so strong that in Game 5 between Hanwha Live and Damwon for a spot in the finals, BeryL played AP Alistar with Electrocute and full AP build. As you guys know, I've been in love with this build. I had a really good success so far, and I want to share with you everything about this build. We are going to talk about runes, items, when to draft Alistar, and as always some in-game examples so you guys know perfectly what you have to do. Before we start, did BeryL really copy me?
Problemas, ojo Caracal también siendo ralentizado por esa Q de Samux.
Cuidado.
Tocó el pulverizar, es buenísimo. Van a por Falco, puede morir el support de Yayas. Va a ser primera sangre para Java. Malas noticias, y ojo a Samux, que puede acabar con la vida de Java. ¡Doble kill para Jin!
This was back in Season 6 when Thunderlord, which is now Electrocute, was pretty good with Alistar. So back in the day we would play Alistar with Electrocute or Thunderlord in this case. So when Electrocute got buffed last patch, I thought a lot of champions are going to come back and play with these setups. So I tried a bunch of them, and for example Rakan was really good, and Alistar is also one that benefits a lot. So that's probably why BeryL also chose to play Alistar with Electrocute, because he has also played for such a long time that he understands that when these small changes happen, maybe you can go back to another meta that happened like already 11 years ago or 10 years ago and try it again and see how it goes. These are my favorite runes with Alistar: Electrocute, then Sudden Impact because this rune is super strong right now. Deep Ward, again, very OP rune, is the best by far from all of these three. And then you are going for Relentless Hunter, you want to be able to move around the map. Inspiration secondary, I love Hexflash and Cosmic Insight, but now we are going to see the variation of BeryL. This is the setup of runes that BeryL uses. Now it's exactly the same except the inspiration part. He goes for Cookies and then Jack of all trades. It's pretty good. I do like Cosmic Insight a lot. You have your flash earlier, you have your ignite earlier, right? So it's a pretty good rune to have, and also Hexflash for the playmaking ability. But if you are playing in a lane that is pretty hard, and you need a bit of extra sustain, Cookies can work. And Jack of all trades is also pretty nice if you are looking for that extra damage. Really quick, let's talk about skill order. You want to max Q and W at the same time because they share the same CD cooldown. Also, W does way more damage with this build because the AP scaling is just higher than Q. Make sure that you think about this in-game and just don't blindly max Q, because Riot does recommend you to only max Q, and that's a mistake in this build. The build is pretty simple. Celestial Opposition is going to be your super item. You could choose Blood Song or Solitis if you want, but Celestial Opposition is pretty nice, makes you tankier when you go in, and you need to be a bit tanky with this build. Even if you have your ultimate, it's always good to have Celestial Opposition in the build. Now for core item is going to be Hextech Proto Belt, Rocket Belt. I don't know the name anymore, but this item is going to be the core item. It will help you get into this perfect distance to pull off your combos. It makes your flash combo way longer. You can Proto Belt, flash and combo, so it's the perfect item for Alistar in this build. Plus you get a really good power spike with the AP component already in early game. Now for boots, you want Lucidity boots. You could go Swifty, so you could go the Moby boots as well, but in my opinion you are very flash reliant in mid to late games. So you want your flash cooldown to be as low as possible, so these boots are perfect. For second item, I would go for Cosmic Drive. I love Cosmic Drive with Alistar, it makes a lot of sense. Now, as third item, Vigilant Warstone is my favorite for any support, but it's pretty expensive to get. So as third item, you could choose any item that makes sense really in the game. You could go for Azonia, you could go for Banshee, you could go for Surelias as well, Solari, Redemption, a bit more defensive. It's up to you. If you guys have like a clear idea on which items you like to buy with this Alistar build, let me know in the comments and I will try it out. Let's talk about how and when to draft Alistar. I'm going to do an in-depth drafting guide on how to draft the best support in Champ Select. So if it's something that is interesting for you, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Now, what do I ban usually with Alistar is Thresh. I ban Thresh because it's very annoying to play aggressive into Thresh as Alistar, because when you're engaged, he can E out, he can Q you and keep you in place. Plus, you are not very tanky because you don't have Aftershock. So you are going to get melted and it's going to be a problem. It's not a problem to play, for example, into Nautilus or Leona, because you are going in and bursting and you can do your damage. Like Thresh could deny your damage, and that's a problem, and we don't really want that. Plus, the W is going to make enemy AD carry a mobile AD carry, and we want to make sure that we can impact the entire damage on the enemy AD carry and keep on top of him, right? So especially with your E that you want to proc that. So we have 3 problems, and it's called, first one, I'm going to go for harder, is going to be Poppy. Enemy could be Poppy's jungle, Poppy support, Poppy top, so it's annoying to play against Poppy. I had great results against Poppy, because how do you play against Poppy is just don't make sure that you walk up and you Q and E and bait the W. The enemy, I mean Poppy W is longer than your own W, so it's not the worst, but it's a bit annoying to play against. Now the second problem is going to be called Earl. Earl is a champion that you probably don't want to pick Alistar into Earl. I will probably look into another pick, because Earl is very difficult to punish as Alistar, because when you go for the combo, he will just E out, and if he has decent reaction, then you are going to lose a lot of damage. Now, it's true that the E of Earl is on a longer cooldown, so you could go for a 2 sequence, right? What is a 2 sequence? Is you look for a combo, back off, and then when your combo is back up, you combo Earl again, and he cannot E out, right? But it's pretty annoying to play against him, so I would recommend not drafting around that. Now, the second problem is going to be a champion called Sylas, right? Sylas can steal your ultimate, which makes Sylas very strong. So if enemy picks Sylas, he's going to be able to teamfight and be too tanky, and if he gets ahead and he has your ultimate, access to your ultimate, is going to be a problem. So normally when I've been picking Alistar just randomly these last 2 weeks, because I really loved this new build and I had super good results, and I wanted to spam it and to also make this video. Now, I have picked Alistar a ton of time blind pick, and enemy team picks Sylas and Poppy constantly, right? So it is what it is. If you want to pick in blind, it's okay, you can do it, but you are going to face champions that counter you, right? Normally enemy team is going to start countering your champion. Now, when is Alistar good? Let's talk about that. Alistar is great, for example, when enemy team is going to pick Jhin, is going to pick Varus, like Miss Fortune as well. At Twitch, you deny a lot of Twitch, because when he opens on the team fight, you can just go on him and like he's immobile, so you can just flash on him and make sure that he cannot move, right? So from here, every immobile AD carry is going to suffer, and a popular one is Jinx, right? So you can make sure that Jinx gets punished a lot, and also like Kokmo, Lucian, even if he has a dash, it's okay to play against Lucian, because his range is so low that you are always on a combo range. Now, it's excellent, for example, to play against champions like Diana. It's excellent to play against champions like, for example, Irelia, Jax. Why? Because when they come in, you just Q them into the ground, prop your E, stun them, and then you can W them out, so you reduce a lot of their damage, right? For example, Riven the same. A champion that hates to play against Alistar is Yasuo. Yasuo is really bad to playing against Alistar because he cannot really do what he wants. So you do counter a lot of champions. Now, this build is a bit special because you are going to deal a lot of damage, and you're not going to be that tanky, but you can play around that with the ultimate. We're going to see that just on the next part. Now, I would just pick Alistar whenever you want. There is no much counter. I don't think other supports really counter you. You just need to make sure that you understand how to play it. You can play against any mage, you can play against other engaged champions, against enchanters. When you play against mage and enchanters, we're going to see that on the playstyle. You just want to make sure that you are moving around the map, forcing them also to move. But that's something that we are going to talk about later. And Renata could be annoying. Also, your passive heals you. So you have good sustain. It's the same with the Rack and Q that we saw in the other guide. You have like ways to make sure that you can play into bad lanes. And not much more. I would say you could blind pick it. Just make sure about that you are careful of these 4 champions. If you for example have better picks or you play more than Alistar, that you probably will, then you can always choose to use it as a counter or in certain different matchups. Matchups that are good against immobile AD carries and any other support that is not the ones that we just mentioned. All right, let's start with the game examples. Now, I'm going to give you a small tip that you can do with any lane when enemy team is stronger in bot lane and they want to bully you. So what I like to do is I gather my teammates or only my mid laner and I go and search for enemies trapping in the bushes, right? Normally they will stack in the bush in the first one, this one, and we can get one easy kill and make our lane a bit better, give a kill to my AD carry, top, jungle, mid, whoever takes it, and we start with a small advantage. Now, this is excellent for not only Alistar. Laning phase wise is not going to be easy because Alistar is very useless till level 3. So we have to play always defensive. Even if I'm playing around the bushes right now, I know that we have to concede pressure because we are not going to be able to get level 2. Normally with Alistar, you will not be able to get level 2 in any matchup. Just when you have a strong AD carry and enemy bot lane is very weak, then maybe yes. But here, unfortunately, Poppy is like a good matchup. It's still okay because I have the passive, I have 2 potions. We traded decent against Poppy, so she also needs to burn some potions there, but we are in a fine spot. Now, I do have Sweeper. I'd like to change from Warding Trinket to Sweeper because now I'm able to sweep Poppy's ward or Kai'Sa's ward. I'm not really sure who did drop that ward, but this will relieve us a bit of pressure and also make sure that Talon has a good gank angle if he decides that ganking bot is a good idea. In this case, it's not for him. So yeah, that's not the greatest. Here we block the W of Kai'Sa. We tried our best, but the trade doesn't end up too good for Tristana. Tristana is a very weak champion as well. So we are both pretty weak. And here what I need to make sure is that the next W of Kai'Sa, I'm going to tank it. So normally with Alistar, you want to be on top of your AD carry like this, like I'm playing right now. And just make sure that you soak some skill shots. Use properly your passive. You get passive with when minions die and also when you hit your CC. So right now we're going to heal a bit under tower. We get level 3 and maybe we look for some all-in opportunity. But most of the times your AD carry or you want to start looking for actions after your first base. So I want to show you what ends up happening is Tristana is also going to get a really bad trade. Nothing we can do really. We try to defend the best as possible and he's going to take a base. Now I want to take experience under tower. It's a great opportunity for me to soak experience for the level 6. We know that level 6 is super important, especially when you are playing a roaming champion, because I'm going to roam and I'm going to lose experience roaming. So everything that I can get alone or a bit of a lead there is going to be great. Now they're going to dive me, which is a good decision. I dodged the stun of Poppy there. I could maybe play it better with the flash and then W the Kai'Sa because Poppy is dead. But well, 1-for-1, not the worst. It's true that Tristana loses quite a few waves, but it's normal in this matchup. Now this is the important part. And I want to show you the strongest roam that you can do as a support with any roaming support, but especially with engage supports, right? I get boots early on. Normally, I like to go for Hextech Alternator with 1,100 gold, but this time around, I see that I have both Sams. I want to look for a proactive roam in mid lane, and I'm going to spend my flash, and I'm going to pause real quick. Now, the strongest gank that you can do with Alistar is you W the target, so you click the target already with W, and the champion is going to start to run towards Sylas, and then I will press flash, right? I will press flash, so my champion is going to flash in range of Sylas, and then I will press Q. So when I flash, my W is already input, and then I will Q for the combo. So you guys will see that is the fastest combo that you can do with Alistar. So here I press W onto the target, and my combo goes instantly towards Sylas, right? So this is a great gank, and coming from the top side instead of where Poppy comes from is just way better when you have time to gank mid lane. Why? Because the enemy mid laner is not going to expect it at all. Let's jump into the next roam, which is going to be the same. Here I drop an aggressive ping ward, getting rid of the Kai'Sa ping ward. We're going to play a bit here with Poppy, with Vision. I'm going to look for maybe threaten a bit the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa ends up respecting a lot, and we are unable to punish the Kai'Sa face check because Talon decides to do crap. It's all good. Nothing happens really. We are going to look for another fight in bot lane. We end up going for here Poppy ultimate save. I could maybe ignite, but I end up killing the the Kai'Sa. Poppy kills me. I didn't have time to ultimate, and now I will get Hexflash Alternator. So now this is like the biggest power spike that I can have early game. Now Alistar is going to be a monster in skirmishes, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to open towards the jungle of my Talon, but topside jungle. Zyra stole everything. It's okay. I'm going to look for the same idea than before. I'm just going to walk up and gank the Sylas. This gank works 80% of the times against mid laners. They eat it every single time. So these are the first tip on how to play the laning phase, and the second tip on how to roam in this type of situations, right? They end up fighting, nothing really happens. So yeah, let's move to the next example. Going for another example, another Poppy. I told you, when you blind pick, this is the disaster, no? Real Poppy is going to be such a difficult lane for me. But what I want to talk about this lane is the same concept. We end up getting pushed in because we are unable to contest the level 2. That happens every single time with Alistar. So don't try to lose HP or don't lose anything. Just let the wave come into you. The experience range, you will get experience and it's going to be fine. You don't need to win level 1 at minute 1 the game, right? So what will end up happening, again, I get rid of the ward from the enemy bot, and we are just going to look to crash the wave because it's bouncing towards them. Now, what am I going to do in this situation is that right now the wave is going to crash, right? It's going to crash, and I'm a melee champion. So what is this typical mistake that usually you guys do is you run with the wave and show all the time, and it's a big mistake. You don't want to do that, or you just go here and base. This is a fine thing to do, but I'm full HP, full mana, and I have 400 gold. It's not a lot, right? So what am I going to do in this moment? I'm going to roam towards mid lane. Again, I'm going to use my time to roam, and I'm going to spend my W flash Q, like we saw in the last clip, like here, and we end up getting a really good kill. Now I'm going to follow my Viego because I want to secure that he steals the camp. This is normally done above diamond when your jungler is very confident on stealing. And after that, I'm just going to go back bot lane and recover my Varus, make sure that we crash. And again, I'm going to look for crash wave, roaming potential. Crash wave, roaming potential. We already got 2 ganks in mid lane in less than 2 minutes, 3 minutes. We also get the Akali flash, and from here the game looks really good for us. Even if you take the kill, it's okay to take the kill from time to time. It's just make sure that the wave in mid lane crashes, everyone resets, and play for the next one. Before we jump into mid game and late game, how to play team fights, how to play some certain objective, I want to make sure that I show you one entire early game and explain you my thought process as well. Because Alistar, and with Alistar AP with Electrocute, the best thing you can do is look for early fights and utilize your damage and your spikes properly to snowball the game, okay? So that's what is going to happen this game. We are going to lose the lane, the level 2 again. It's normal. 3 videos already or 3 clips already. We are not getting the Prio. Don't worry if you don't get it. Don't lose anything if you are not able to contest. You are going to be really strong at level 3. At level 2, you become a good champion again. But it's normal that they abuse it at level 1. If, in certain situations, like they give you Prio and you're able to get level 2, enemy doesn't contest, great. But don't look to burn a Q flash really early for a bad trade. Sometimes you can do it, but be a bit patient. Be a bit patient. You need to be patient. Now I'm going to use this ward here to see if Sylas is going to roam, and I want to rotate because we will not have Prio. And now you are going to see how strong Alistar is in trades, right? In level 2 trade with Electrocute, he looks very strong, right? Here I already procced the Electrocute with WQ Ignite, and it's a lot of damage. And here this is going to be another kill for us. I don't know if we end up killing the Corki. I think I don't end up killing him, or I do kill him. I do kill him, I think. No, I don't kill him because I don't have the E, so I cannot proc the damage there, okay? I think maybe I look for a combo. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly how the game goes. I know that I end up trying to freeze. Just, again, let the wave crash. We get experience. We are so happy because I'm going to roam and I'm going to lose some wave. Now, I do tell my mid laner that Sylas is moving. He's dying, so that's pretty good. And I'm going around to look for a Corki gank. Now, nothing happens, but if he doesn't respect, he tries to contest my Jhin, then we are going to be in a good position because we will be able to punish him. Now, Sylas is trolling quite a bit, so we are able to catch him again. Good combo with Jhin with the W, because I can set up my E as well and get a really good CC chain, and we end up getting the kill again. So instead of hitting the dragon, we are trapping on enemy tribush, and we go again for a Corki play here, and we end up stunning him and getting a kill onto him, right? We just run away. Once we proc Electrocute and proc our E, run away. If you don't want to take free damage for no reason, your combo will come back up, and then you can look to combo. Here, I reset directly because I want to go for Void Grab, so I don't stay with Jhin to crash the wave. He doesn't need me. Why? Because Corki is dead, and I'm on a timer that I want to be moving already, right? So I end up moving to Void Grabs. We end up getting Void Grabs. I look for an opportunity to gank top lane because Seth is spam pinging that he needs help. Here, I'm trying to think, is it worth it to gank top or should I recover bot lane? But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We go for the play, we commit. It ends up going really well because we end up killing Gragas, but my Jhin dies in bot lane because he gets dove. It happens 1-for-1, he ends up dying. But I give some advantage to Seth, and Seth will end up carrying this game at the end of the day. So the decision at the end was worth it. Sometimes you have to take some risk. There's always risk involved when you make decisions in League of Legends. But you guys see already how much I'm moving around the map, how much this build works around skirmishes, right? You have the damage, so when you pair it together with your jungler or together with your top laner, together with your mid laner, it is the best thing to do. Now, you always want to look for walls to stay in fog, because once here, for example, Ari goes forward, then we can look for a trade. Here, the bubble of Zoe is perfect, and you guys can see the damage already, right? You guys can see that the damage of Alistar in skirmishes, it's very big. And this is what I wanted to show you with this clip, because now you see how this champion works. You want to make sure you are in skirmishes early on. You want to make sure that you are moving around the map and looking for fights, because it makes the build so much more useful and so much more fun as well. You see that I have Darkseal this game. You could go for Darkseal into Mejais. I got Alistar games with 25 Mejai stacks, which was a lot of fun as well. So you can experiment. So how do you want to play Alistar in mid-game? So in mid-game, you want to make sure that you are very active with your team again, but you have to pay attention to certain things. Now, here we are making a play in mid lane because I'm together with my jungler, so I will always recommend to sync up with the strongest member in your team and also make plays where your jungler is, okay? Like you have a lot of damage. You guys see here that paired with Wukong, we have a lot of damage going on. So after a proactive play, I want to ward the enemy jungle deep, like these two wards are really good. And now I know we are going to go for Herald, so we are going to do a play on top lane. So I'm holding on my other ward and my pink ward to make sure that I utilize them on top side. Now I see that Warwick is winning and pushing out top. Make sure that you drop your pink wards in spots that could be warded. And I'm going to dive top lane. Pay attention to one thing. Your ultimate is like a safeguard, right? Like you are going to be safe when you have ultimate. So I can go in, do this because I have my ultimate, so I can always proc it. Here, for example, maybe was not even needed to proc it, but you cannot just run around combo people in mid-game without your ultimate being active. And we are going to see a clear example of that in a bit. I pick on Victor, we end up killing Victor. But you see that Celestial Opposition is helping me a bit to stay healthy. But once the Celestial Opposition drops and stop protecting me, I'm taking a lot of damage. You see already how low I am. This doesn't normally happen with an Alistar that will not build AP, right? So here also, like, Karma is doing a ton of damage to me, and I have to kite away and run. So you want to make sure that you engage. Here I use the flash to engage onto Karma, and make sure your team gets the things done after. If you have ultimate, on the other hand, you can stay in the fights longer. You can make sure that you combo, run around the fight, and soak some damage. But be very careful. When it expires, you need to get out and just wait for the combo to come back. On how to use Hexflash, because some of you guys told me, how do I use Hexflash? You want to use Hexflash to make picks in mid lane, or just Hexflash a wall and combo the enemy. You see the damage. I just one-shot the Heimerdinger. I also have 10 Dark Seal stacks. And again, look how my ultimate is going to be useful this game. I'm holding my ultimate all the time. Once I can use it properly, it's going to save me a lot of time. So here I end up getting a double kill or a lot of damage to everyone. I stop the Kiana initial engage, and now my ultimate tanks a lot. And here I'm going to try to buy some time with my W, and maybe I could have queued faster, but my ultimate, even if I'm full AP, even if I go for full damage, is going to give me so much time to play. Again, this is how you use Hexflash. So we are going to play for top lane tower. I love to set up this vision, 1 ward here in the jungle and 1 ward on enemy base. And I'm going to sit on this wall and I'm going to Hexflash it if someone is going to try to defend the tower. Heimerdinger is here, so I Hexflash over the wall, knock him towards my Jhin, and then I'm just going to Q, and there goes the damage with the electrocute plus the 4th shot of Jhin. We will end up getting his life. Now we have a really fun item which is called Hextech Rocketbelt, and you can utilize Hextech Rocketbelt for some situations. You guys see here, I had my E, and normally the problem with Alistar is that you are chasing people around and you are unable to hit the last auto attack to stun them. But with Rocketbelt, you can use it and then auto attack them and get the stun. So that's a very, very fun way to make sure that you can keep chasing and end up getting kills. I have a ton of examples, but to keep the video a bit shorter, like Rocketbelt into Flash W combo, this is like a 3-man combo with Alistar. Was only be able to pull it off if I had this item with me. I've done a lot of Rocketbelt WQ. People don't expect the range because they think that the range is just your combo, but you have a bit of a dash that you can use and gap close for to get close to your enemies. Here I get the one shot by Syndra, but it doesn't really matter. We will end up winning this game. And I wanted to show you that that type of combo that you can do with Alistar. Plus you do a lot of damage again, and you have so much of a playmaking possibility. You want to see more AP Alistar? I will leave you here one of my live streams where I even got 25 Mega stacks, and you can see the true power of AP Alistar. Thank you for watching. Until next time. Bye bye.